Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you. And I think you'll have to listen. Because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
See this?
I know.
How you cannot go
Baby,
again?
baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Come on in, you guys. I'm having computer difficulty or technical difficulty. So you're gonna have to bear with me today. Sorry we didn't come on yesterday. Like I said, I'm having computer difficulty. I had so much to talk about Friday, but things got really crazy Friday. Diesel, he said he's got an ear infection or something's going on. Trying to get in touch with the doctor about that while he's crying. And I mean, it's just so sad when a dog gets sick because they give you those puppy dog eyes and, they, and he's tilting his head and shaking his head and the doctor will not see him until he's on his meds. I'm just telling you guys what's going on. And so Papa's a little mad because he wants them to see Diesel and we don't want to spend $600-700 to take him to the hospital when his doctor could see him for $50. But we almost took him to the hospital, but then, we did get some understanding of what was going on. At first, we did not know what was going on. We was just, let's go ahead and take him to the hospital. And the doctor was like, it is not emergency. It's very common for dogs to have ear infections. But you guys do know that Diesel do have two medications he takes. He takes gabapentin and he takes trazodone. That's to calm him down. And he takes 3 gabapentins, 2 trazodones at night before bringing him to the doctor or hospital. They want us to give him that at night so it can be in his system, and then give him 3 gabapentins and 2 trazodone 2 hours prior to bringing him into the doctor's office. And so, anyway, I know I'm just giving you guys an update of what's been going on and how, no sleep, didn't pick up Pooh Bear Friday, so that's a big thing. Didn't had to work Friday, so that's a big thing. So everything got tossed underneath the rug, and we started doing, some things with Diesel, cleaning his ear with vinegar and water. And because you guys do know that, vinegar is the main thing that the doctor used to clean dogs' ears or whatever. And so, we did our research and everything. And I'm like, and he do not like nobody messing with his ears. So that's a struggle in itself. But anyway, you guys, we're here today so that we can talk about Jake and Rebecca. I wanted you guys to know something, because we're not going to probably stay on here long because we've been having long lives. But today is a day that we do not come on. I want to thank everybody for showing up. My battery in my remote here is dead. So I got to go get some batteries. So if I'm running a little late, saying hello or something, you guys, don't have a problem with telling me, hey, SP, guess what? You didn't say hi. Tina Power, she says, what's up? She's in the building first. We got Lisa Taylor in the building. She says, good evening. We got Nancy LaRose. She says, hello. We got Danielle in the building with Barry Sports and Highlights. We also got Lisa Calhoun. She says, SP and chat. Family, hello. So everybody's done came in the building. We also have our famous We Are Cody's voice in the building. She is Nancy, and she's saying, what's going on? Miss Tina 0918. She says, happy Saturday, ladies, SP. No, I don't, I am a little sick myself, but, I'm going to make it. I am going to make it. So you guys, and then we've got people in the bushes also, you guys. So yeah, that's what's going on. I am trying to, I got something to share with you guys that I know you guys know, but you probably done forgot or you haven't put 2 to 2 together. And so, and you say, SP, you always say somebody's in jail and they send in secret messages. Oh, but they are. Yes, they are. This right here, yeah. I had to, I'm going to, I don't know where it's at, but we're going to go through some of the new development and the updates that we haven't went through. I did download some. Oh, yeah. See, I downloaded the information, but I'm hoping it's in here. So I'll read it and then we'll stop. Yes, there it is. I knew I had it. I was at work. And so an update came up on Jake. Jake, and everybody say Jake from the insurance. Jake from State Farm. No, Jake is not from State Farm. Jake, I don't know what he's from. He is not. He is from the devil. I'm just saying. I be wanting to speak some Spanish, like Diablo. You know what I'm saying? It just came to me, you guys. And you guys know what Diablo mean, right? So anyway, that's where Jake, I'm just saying. Hey, it was on my mind. So I would just say what it is. If you know what Diablo mean, please put it in the chat. Okay? So anyway, I am going to read this news clip because it had what I needed. And I am going to share with you guys in a new jailhouse interview. Jake Harrell denies claims that his son, baby Emmanuel, had been abused over a period of time. Miss Tina says, straight from downstairs. She said, Jake from Walmart. Connie, when we say Connie Branch / Karen says, Jake from Walmart. Yes. So anyway, you guys, why is this so significant? You guys want to know, right? I mean, you think you know, you probably heard it, didn't put it all together, but you know me, I'm going to be like, is this opinion? No. They can't be sending messages to each other, but they are. And you guys are not getting it. And you know what? I'm believing that Jake wants people, he wants people to know what's right and what the police got wrong. I'm just telling you, he's got that same mentality that Corey Bigsby had. You know what I'm saying? Remember when Corey went to jail and when people were saying, hey, this happened, that happened, that happened, that happened. His attorney couldn't shut him up, especially when they charged him and convicted him for the abuse and murder. Well, not the abuse, but the murder part of Cody Bigsby. He went straight to jail and turned around, exactly, a narcissist. He went straight to jail, called a reporter and says, I want to say something. And the reporter was like, hey, maybe he's ready to confess. Hey, maybe he wants to talk. So he got right on TV. They were filming it. It was being recorded. And he said, this was a lie. That was a lie. They were lying. My kid came on there. I don't know how they got my kid to say this and say that, but that is not true. See, that's when you know a person is guilty, because they're not going to, they think they're smart. They think that, hey, you're lying on me and I know you're lying because I'm lying. So you can't come and tell me what happened because you're saying all of this stuff, but you're lying. And they're mad because if you're going to tell it, they thinking I'm a criminal, so I should lie. You're not the criminal. You need to tell the truth. I'm going to tell you guys something. And if you've ever ran into people like that, oh, it makes you so upset. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. I'm going to just give you a little bit of experience, my own personal experience. In my first marriage, I was married to this guy that cheated all the freaking time, right? And he had community ding dong, okay? Hey, he was fine as wine. Hey, he can put it down. But let me tell you something. You just did not want it because everybody else had it, okay? I did not know it until too late, okay? My blinders was like, oh, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I went ahead and filed for a divorce. Oh my goodness, how can you file a divorce on me? He was highly upset. He was like, no. He was like, you're wrong. You're wrong for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you guys. And he asked the question. He says, you're a Christian. You don't, God doesn't even like divorce. How dare you? I am a Christian. But hey, and I know, see, they can quote the Bible. They can quote when you're doing something wrong in their mind, but you're a Christian. You don't even believe in divorce. What are you doing? and you say you're a Christian. You know what? I said, you know what? You're not finna play games with me. Get out of here. I'm done. You go milk a cow somewhere else. Like, I don't want to play games. I just don't. And I don't believe, my God, if I made the mistake and married you and did not ask for permission and did not want to see the forest for the tree, you know what? There is no time than right now for the best time to just get rid of you, leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not doing this. I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. For nobody, not for you, for nobody. Ruin the rest of my life being with you, being miserable, may end up going to prison or jail because you're going to make me hurt you. You keep playing with me. And then I've got kids here. You know what I'm saying? And now I done got my kids involved in this hot mess. And no, we just couldn't do it. I don't believe that this person would stop at anything trying to hurt me, because I hurt his feelings when I told him, you're not worth it. Get out of here. So anyway, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, just a little note on the side, like, people will try to make you feel a little guilty. Tina says, SP, look up Jake and Rebecca's new lawyers, please, ma'am. You're right. Jake is just as much of a liar as Corey. Yes, not the community. Yes, the community, ding dong. So anyway, let me read this for you guys. Riverside, California. It says, as the investigation into the presumed death of baby Emmanuel continues, his father, who's been charged with murder, is speaking out from jail, saying his son was not a victim of long-term abuse. The first thing Jake wanted to say is Emmanuel was not abused long-term. And one thing that he wants everybody to take a look at is like this. Check this out. Emmanuel is only 7 months old. How can there be long-term abuse? Well, first of all, you need to look at, guess what? We've got another case, which was Jake's daughter from a previous marriage and relationship with, I think it was Vanessa, which she was only but 10 weeks old, and she got permanent damage from long-term abuse. So Emmanuel is 7 months. Maybe Jake thinks that 7 months of abuse is not long, because the way that he's understanding this is like, hey, we only abused him for a month, or maybe a half of a month. That's not long-term abuse. Maybe like I was doing fine for a minute. I don't know what his thinking is. I can't tell you what his thinking is, but yes, Emmanuel is 7 to 8 months. He's actually 8 months old. So he was born the end of December. Might as well say, I don't know the actual date. If you know the date, please put it in the chat, okay? It's been said Rebecca has an attorney and the Turpis had, I don't know if it is true. It's being said Rebecca has an attorney. The Turpis. I don't know what you're saying, Karen. All you have to do is look at his first baby pic and look at the one that's been on the news. That baby has shaken baby syndrome. Tina says, yes, it is true. I don't know what is true. It's been said Rebecca has an attorney, the Turpis. December the 21st is his birthday. Thank you, Karen. So if you go say December the 21st, you don't start with December, right? Because you're at the end of the month. So you really can't start December. If there was more than 14 days, you can include December, but you don't. So this is just for the lay people, that this is how you understand it. So you actually count January. So you go January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August the 21st would have been 8 months. And today is the 30th. So he is 8 months. And then you take 21 from 30, right? So you take 21 from 30 and you end up with 9. So baby Emmanuel is 8 months and 9 days old as of today. Okay? So let's continue, you guys. The Turpins abused the 13 children all their lives in California. Oh, really? Tina says, SP, remember the parents that were abusing their 10 kids or 11 kids and they went to jail? I don't mean to sound racist, but they were a white couple that had the kids and they were abusing the kids. No. And also Rebecca's brother is serving. Yes, Rebecca's brother is serving 50 to life for unaliving his wife, girlfriend, and told the police she did that herself, and they proved that to be a lie. Exactly. Okay. I know what you're talking about, Nancy, but I don't know what Tina's talking about. Tina, okay. In a minute, Tina, I'm gonna probably let me see if my phone is charged. Because it probably not. Nope, it is. No, well, it is not charged. So let me put it on the charger. It don't take long for this phone to charge. And maybe you can tell us in a minute. Let me get through this commentary real quick. And we will see. Tina saying, hello, Diesel. Yeah, trust me. He's trying. Okay, so in a news interview conducted by a reporter with the Southern California News Group, Jake denied the claims made by San Bernardino and Riverside County officials that baby Emmanuel had been abused over a period of time by his parents and that the baby eventually succumbed to those injuries. So Jake is saying, I rolled over on this baby. That's what he's trying to say. In the jailhouse interview, Jake would not say what part, if any, he played in his son's disappearance, only saying he's been now remember this, you guys, he has been completely cooperative with investigators. He acknowledged the public outrage, saying, this is what he said, God is with us. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. Stop right there. Is everybody listening? Please put a 1 in the chat. You do not have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. Jake is saying some things right here that you guys need to pay close attention to. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about right here. I don't know everything, but I do know this. Jake has an attorney. I don't know the name. I just know he does. Because he says that his attorney told him to not do no press. Do not do no press conference, right? Am I right? Put a 1 in the chat. His attorney told him, do not do any press conferences. When your attorney tells you to not do something and you just go do nilly-willy, you're doing yourself a disservice. this attorney cannot help you, and you continue to act like you are the good person. You got to remember, I don't know who you are talking to, who you are trying to impress. But when a person goes behind his attorney's back and do something he told him not to do, there is a reason behind it. Okay? I'm going to tell you guys this. I kid you not. Let's not do that right now. That's my wake-up call, which I don't get sometimes. But anyway, nevertheless, pay attention. His attorney says, do not go do no press. He I don't know if he contacted the reporter or the reporter contacted him. But he even told him, my attorney told me not to do this. But Jake says the public's outrage, and he understands it. But he says, God is with us. Now, I know you guys are saying, SP, why is that so important? I say, because that's a message. You mean you go against what your attorney said so that you can say, you understand this, and they are lying. But I want everybody to know, no, I actually want Rebecca to know God is with us. So you want to know why Rebecca is doubling down? Because she heard from her man, God is with us. Well, you do know the definition of Emmanuel is God is with us. You guys do know that's what the name Emmanuel means in the Bible, right? Come on. Come on, you scholars of Christianity. So, when Jake is saying, because that's the only thing he said, God is with us. So he's actually saying, I understand the public's outcry, but Emmanuel, the allegations are horrendous. So of course people are going to be railed up. Emmanuel. And I've told you guys something. He says he is cooperating. I told you guys, sometimes you guys go, SP, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And the police are saying, oh, he's not helping in the search. Well, then why are you out there in your jumpsuit? They cannot just drag you out the jail without your permission. They can't do that. You guys are not going on a vacation. You guys are not finna go get ice cream. You have to be willy-nilly willing to go, and they're just not wanting you to see the sun and the rain and the dirt and feel some kind of humanized, like you human. No, the monster that you are, they're getting something. So, it's like I said, if they pull Jake out the jail and drug him to the desert, that will be kidnapping. You know how many people will get drugged to the desert in these back streets and valleys and caves because somebody pulled them out of jail? Oh, we will have all kind of people. We would have a whole bunch of hidden type of graves and everything. You can't do it. You got to be willing. And that's what he's saying. He's saying, look, I'm telling you guys, I am cooperating. But you don't see him pointing nowhere. We even had Don telling us when they went to that 60 highway, freeway 60, the more anyway, what was it called? The Bad Boys or Bad Valley, whatever. The Badlands or something. It was the Badlands. That's what it was. It was called the Badlands. He said that Jake was only out there for 5 minutes. We did not even see him make a move. He didn't say, hey, the body's over here. Hey, the body's over there. Or maybe y'all need to search over there. He didn't do no hand movements or nothing. He just stood out there. So I'm going to say this. With them in the way that they have convicted these two, you got to look at this situation. Check this out. And by the way, I'll say again, Rebecca is doubling down. When the reporters went to her, she spoke too. And this is what Rebecca said. And I don't want to lose thought. But Rebecca says, I'm never going to give up. I'm never going to give up. Rebecca, stop it. That is my message to Rebecca. Stop it. We all know, and like I said, you guys, they got surveillance that shows them an inconsistency of Rebecca's report. I told you guys that. Oh, don't get mad at me, because I told you. They don't see no man coming behind her and say, hola. They don't see that. So you're lying. You're lying. So if there was nobody that came behind you, hit you in the head, gave you two black eyes, knocked you down on the floor, on the ground, and then you ran around the truck when you regained your consciousness, and then ran in the store and said, hey, did anybody see a baby? Did anybody? And I'm going to tell you guys something, and I know some people's going to get mad at me, but, I love all people. I really do. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. There's some people I cannot stand, and I have told you guys this a long time ago, and the thing about it is, everybody has rights, whether they legal or unlegal, but certain type of people I can't get with. And the reason why I can't get with is because I see that, I'm a little jealous about how I get treated and how they get treated. I'm just going to be honest about it. I'm going to be honest. I could be here for my whole life. I was born here. But I don't get treated like that. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then at the end of the day, I don't mind them getting treated good. I want everybody to get treated good. But when it gets thick, when it gets really thick, you guys understand what I'm saying? When things hit the fan, then all of a sudden you can't speak English. Now I'm mad. And I was in a car accident where these kids was joyriding, and they was all, and I didn't know at the time, but they was all Spanish descent. And not only that, they was illegal. Their parents was illegal. Now, I didn't know that. They didn't know that, but they lied good and well and got their kid. That nobody went to jail or anything. Totaled my car. No insurance. I was just left without a car. I didn't go to the hospital because I had a strong feeling that, guess what? I had a strong feeling that something's just not right about this milk. And do you not know I was just out of a car? That's it. That's it. So yes, they ran a red light and it was horrific. I had glass all in my face, was all cut up, my hair, and I really sometimes do not wear seatbelts. I had just dropped my daughter off, my youngest baby off at the Y. And I kid you not, they were coming off that freeway doing at least 60, 70 miles per hour. Now, when you're coming off the freeway, you have to yield. to the people that's driving, right? They just kept going. And they say, well, she hit us. Of course. I had the green light. I had the right of way. You guys were playing roulette with the lights. You cannot do that. In the United States, we have lights for a reason. I ask you guys this question because I go to work all the time and there's stop signs and there's nobody on this road. It's a dirt road. Every day I have to stop 3 times because there's a stop sign, but there's nobody on this road. Do I stop? I do. It's just in us. We've been trained to do stuff like that. But for some people, especially kids, they don't know no better. So they do play games. They want to see if they can, oh man, you just beat that light. And they giggle and laughing and kiki. They ruined my life, you guys. So anyway, so sometimes if I get really angry and mad, I was sore, I was hurt. I couldn't go to, I wanted to make sure the kids was okay. And they were. But I kid you not. The mom's name was Marie. The father's name was Jose. And the last name was Rodriguez. So figure that one out. Okay. Anyway, that was just a whole entire vehicle gone. Then I have to try to find a way to go to work. Not only that, what else was it? Like I said, pain and suffering. I had to not go to the hospital and, because I know I can't afford the bill and go to work hurt and borrow a car. And these people just walked away from a situation. It could have been deadly. But I mean, things like that, you know, I mean, I can tell you other situations, but I won't. Anyway, I just want you guys to know sometimes, like, I just think that if you in the United States, you need to get the same treatment as everybody else. So anyway, Jake was telling everybody that the story about his daughter on the first marriage was not true. They say in the jailhouse interview, Jake would not say what part, if any, he played in his son's disappearance, only saying he's being completely cooperative with the investigators. He acknowledged the public's outcry. Okay? The boy's father also talked about a case from 2 years ago in which he pleaded guilty to child abuse regarding one of his children with his ex-wife. I'm going to tell you guys something. Let's stop right there. He's talking about the little girl that's called Promise and Faith or whatever, right? Her name is Carolina. This little girl had broken bones. She had healing broken bones of the ribs. She had bleeding from the head. I mean, she can't talk. She can't walk. She got a trach. She got a feeding tube. She's basically a vegetable. And he said that he dropped her on the dividing part of the sink. That is not how you get those kinds of, bruises and stuff. Jake told the Southern California News Group reporters that he pleaded guilty in the case because he couldn't afford to go to trial. What do you mean he can't afford to go to trial? You had a public defender. You can afford to go to trial just like everybody else. Don't say that. And we seen who his attorney was. It was the one guy. Guess what? He is one of the best attorneys in California. So why would you not go to trial? No, his attorney told him to don't go to trial. We could get you a deal. That's what your attorney told you. They didn't tell you that. That's what your attorney told you. But he says, Jake did not go to prison and was given a 4-year probation sentence and 180 days of community service. Okay. The judge decided that Jake deserved an extra break. Jake deserved an extra break. Oh, good. You didn't kill your child. She's still alive. So you get an extra break today, Jake. Next time, do the job right. And we'll probably let you go for free. But since you didn't take her out, this is what the judge decided to do. He gave him an extra break and gave him probation. Next time, we just let you off scot-free. I wonder who was that judge and what race was that judge. Did somebody find out who was the judge and what the race was on that judge? Because I just, something tells me to give him a full break like that, you either gave him favor, you owe somebody a favor, or it's almost like the good old boy thing, you know, like we're from the same, we're hey homie, you know. No. Tina says he was a white judge and I forgot his name. So you probably owe somebody a favor then. Because who in their right mind looking at this child, coming up with all the hospital reports and the doctor and what the doctor said, give somebody and say you deserve an extra break. But I'm going to tell you guys something. And I told you guys this before. If you guys do not remember me telling you this, okay, the ones up front, I know you remember me telling you, if you ever find yourself in trouble, I don't care what it is, throw yourself to the mercy of the court. You tell the judge, remember I told you guys this. I said, tell your kids, teach your kids this, because they have to do it. And this is what Jake did. I said, if you guys remember me saying this, please put a 1 in the chat, because I just let you guys know that what I'm telling you is true. Ask the judge to have grace and mercy on your soul. If you ever, I told you guys this, and I told you it will. I'm not telling you to go out and commit havoc. I'm saying teach your kids and yourself that if you ever find yourself in a world of trouble, whether you're guilty or not guilty, say that to the judge. And he has to, because there's a judge over him. And you're letting him know, you letting that judge know, you are a child of the high most. Yeah, you made a mistake or something. That's what Jake did. I'm just being honest. And so, you know what? I'm just telling you guys, this is for the people that don't understand it, that just says, hey, law is over everything. Law is not over God. So I'm just saying, you guys, we don't know why that does work. But I'm telling you, it does. And they have to. And God will be your judge and jury. And sometimes if you played around and thought you was going to get free, now look. You're in the same situation, a worse situation, because you did not learn from your first mistake. They tell you to do not make promises to God that you cannot keep. You know what I'm saying? See, While a lot of people can't understand Jake and Rebecca, I'm going to tell you this, and you don't have to be an official or have some initials behind your name to understand that they are religious people or whatever, and they believe in maybe the Catholic belief. Normally, Spanish descent people, they do believe the Catholic way. Anyway, Attorney Mike during a news conference on Wednesday calling the judge's decision an outrage. If that judge had done his job as he should have, Emmanuel would be alive today. And I told you guys, and don't get mad, I'm the messenger. If the judge would have done his job, guess what? Emmanuel wouldn't be here because Emmanuel wouldn't be born. He wouldn't be able to meet Rebecca, conceive Emmanuel, and then go and kill him. He wouldn't be here. So I'm just saying that Attorney Mike and the police down there in California is very, very upset. They are pulling on the strings of the hearts of the community and the people that's watching this case. I'm just saying, because they know we don't sit there and think, yeah. If he would have been in jail, Emmanuel be here. They know that we're not thinking with our minds, we're thinking with our hearts, because this is a baby, and they're playing. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. They are. Connie said, I'm going to go find. Okay. Because they're upset when I guess somebody made some allegations that, San Bernardino and Riverside is fighting about who did what and what judge and where the judge came from. He's actually from San Bernardino, but he was a substitute judge in the Riverside, and whoop de whoop de woo and all this other stuff, and who gets jurisdiction. And so they come on and they say, we're letting you guys know we're strong as ever. We're working together, and this is the person that's going to be over the case, and he's really in San Bernardino, but we're going to trial it in Riverside because that's where the real charges is from, the official charges, right? That tells you there's trouble in California, that there's a whole bunch of arguing. And they come on, and then we're going to denounce this judge. He should never done that. You're right. Have you ever heard attorneys come on national news? And we do know that judges do make bad decisions, but actually say it? We don't never get to hear that. And then he says, I'm not downing the judge. I'm just saying he shouldn't have done that. Here's the thing. She said, I think that judge, yeah, but they said that, guess what? They said that our whole law system is not right. It's broken. And it's not their fault. It's broken. It's been broken. But here's the thing. You want to cry when it doesn't work your way. But then when it works your way, like you want to put people in jail, and I'm not saying that Jake should have been out. I'm just saying I told you guys. And for whatever reason it is, you can be mad at Jake all you want. But if you go to court and tell that judge And maybe he was listening like some of you guys don't do. You guys, sometimes you guys say, oh, SP, you just be saying some stuff. I be telling you guys the truth. You don't want to hear it. But I'm telling you, we are under God's law. And we don't know, actually, because we wasn't there, what the truth is. We don't have to like Jake or do like Jake. I don't see Rebecca, to be honest with you, I don't see Rebecca out there on the mountains, Morno Valley. I don't see Rebecca out there. I mean, it would be a very, I don't believe in coincidence that this baby in a relationship with Jake, that's the common denominator, Jake, and having kids by women. That's the common denominator. And then this baby is told. And I also heard this, you guys. There's another baby. It's a little boy. I don't know how true it is, but he has some kind of brain damage. And it's Jake's baby. And that's just allegedly because I haven't got all the facts. But I guarantee you guys are going to hear that too. It's another baby. And it could be the baby that was playing football. Who knows? I'm just saying, if you heard it from me, but it's allegedly. So I'm just telling you. He can have some kind of brain damage and still play football. I don't know. Maybe Jake just want all his kids disabled so that he could sit at home with the Xbox and collect a check, a big fat check if they all disabled. We heard Cody's voice says, yep, mom was drinking while pregnant with him. What is that? The fetal syndrome or something, alcohol fetal syndrome or something. But no, I'm talking about some physically abused outside of the womb. But yeah, I did hear that too. We heard Cody's voice that mom was drinking while carrying the child. That's how kids get. What's that syndrome that they get when you drink or something? I don't know. And the aunt has custody of him as well. Oh, wow. I did not know that. So maybe he wanted all his kids to be disabled. I don't know. Some people are just don't even want kids. And here's the thing. They be with the woman, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying a beating is better than some kind of pervertive thing you do with a kid. Alcohol fetal syndrome. Thank you, Miss Tina. You guys look this stuff up. Miss Tina's in the building. She said that's what it is. The boy from football practice is from the lady Walmart. He is good. Never raised by Jake. Okay. I don't know what you mean by the lady from the lady Walmart. What do you mean, Karen? Karen is Sharon. Miss Karen. Karen is Sharon. Okay. So, they say Rebecca is talking while in jail. And okay, so I want to talk a little bit about these accusations because that's what they are. They're a lot of them is, but they just don't make sense. And so, Mike, the attorney Mike is saying, so there was a lady in the stand out there at the press conference, and she was like, "Hey, could you tell us, was there an informant that y'all placed in the jail? It's called the Perkinson operation, that you actually placed an officer in the jail with Becca and Jake, and Jake confessed that he killed the baby. I mean, he oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to use that word. He red roomed the baby and then buried it, because you guys do know that that's illegal, right?" And Mike was like, I can't. Well, then how did we get it? I can't tell you how when you get it wrong, but you got that wrong. See, that tells you that the police and the attorney down there, and then they start attacking people online, which, there is a lot of havoc online in YouTube and Facebook and TikTok. And there is, because there is a lot of people that saying, what are you guys going to do? You guys are just letting people take these babies, and they come up with these awful stories that somebody, because to be honest with you, had Rebecca blame another race to have hit her, or did something to her, or did something to her baby, and came on national TV and cried a river like she did, like Susan, I'm glad she didn't do that. You could have almost had protest and outrage. You guys do know that, right? You guys do know that we're just one word away from a civil war, right? We Are Cody's Voice says that story was reported on News Nation. Yep. And they doubled down on it too and said that is true. Now, I was listening because I'm not a law professor or anything, but they say, well, it's not illegal. They can do it, but they can't use that information. So if they did it and they did it in private and it got leaked out, they'll never say it was there. But here's the thing, you guys. They want that baby. And why would they not? They don't have to. They'll just say, oh, pull Operation Perkins. Get that person out of there. We don't want them to think that we done put officers. We do things like that. Yeah, they do. They do it all the time. Yeah. They do it all the time. And sometimes you'll hear other people be like, I want to make a deal. Well, there was this inmate in jail, and he told me he was betting with Jake, but I don't know where he went. He was doing a 10 bid. I think he went to San Bernardino. No, they sent him to Augsburg, California, or whatever. They sent him. He went to a jail in Ohio somewhere. But anyway, he told me that Jake told him. And then people's making deal like, I'm not going to say, well, you can't say that. You got to say that Jake told you. And so they're all criminals. So that person wants 12 years taken off of his case. So he'll say, well, I overheard Jake tell another inmate that he buried the body in the valley off of the 60 freeway. Now, can you use it? Yeah. You can use it now. You guys understand what I'm saying? We Are Cody's Voice is in the building. She says, if that story is true about Jake putting him in the trash can, they will never find that poor baby. Oh, let me tell you something. We Are Cody's Voice. Nancy, a.k.a. I believe that is true. And I'm going to tell you why I believe that is true. Because they have not been telling us where all they've been looking. But I do know, and I do remember them in a landfill. I do remember they were searching for baby Emmanuel in a landfill. Authorities have not recovered the 7-month-old baby, but Mike said they have a strong indication of where his remains are located. The bad thing about searching a landfill, you cannot actually use cadaver dogs or searching dogs. You can't use them. It will destroy that dog because you got okay, just check this out. You got a dog, okay, like Diesel, and he's been trained to sniff out death or blood or a decomposed body or whatever. And you go in the trash, the landing field with this dog that you have been training for his whole life. And he's got it, he's getting it, he knows what he's looking for. And then he goes, you send him to, this guy already told us this, and we know this for a fact, that you take the dog to the landing field and you got all these smells. You got all these women that has a menstruation. You got, sometimes people dead animals, they don't discard them the way they're supposed to, or make a grave for them, or call the Humane Society and pay $40 to have them taken, and put in the fire and everything. What they do is, they just throw them in the trash, and go get them another pet or whatever. You guys know I'm telling you the truth. But you've got all these smells, and then, it's just death. So when a woman, some women, and I'm just being honest with you guys, they have, they may not even know that they're pregnant. And then you got this today, tomorrow pill, or whatever, the day after, whatever you want to call it, the brightness thing pill. I don't know. And, they pass, and hey, all kinds of smells are in that landing field. And now the dog is, because the only reason why you have a dog that will search a particular smell, like people or a decomposed body, is because he's trained. He's done got familiar with the smell. Now this dog is wondering, I smell this everywhere I go. Now he's making mistakes and he's no good anymore. He can't service you. And normally the dog is a German Shepherd like Diesel, and normally those dogs cost a lot of money and a lot of training. And once you get them to pick up a certain smell, and now he's smelling it everywhere he goes, he's like, I see it, I smell it here, smell it there. And you're like, no, and he don't get to treat it. No. The dogs are normally can do that because the smell is unique. It's like almost having or not having or having a Amber Alert. This is true. They know by just doing research that if every time someone claims that a child has been abducted and they put out an Amber Alert, we will get so used to the Amber Alert, we just quit looking. They come on TV and they say, Amber Alert, red Ford, baby missing, Amber Alert, white pickup, baby missing, Amber Alert, yellow. We will not even raise our hand. We'd be like, oh, I got to go to work. Oh, what was my grocery list now? Oh, that's just an Amber. Don't worry about it. Same with dogs. You cannot give them that scent every time they turn around. And they don't get a treat because they got it wrong. It's just what it is. When they smell it, they be like, oh, you got something here. It's almost like when they smell for like drugs or something. And I did not even know this, you guys. And I mean, like, yeah, I was doing something wrong one time, but hey, I wouldn't know had I not done it, right? So when you have dogs trained to drugs or whatever, and some people get mad at me and they be like, I can only tell you my experience in life, and but anyway, and you have some on you or you trying to pass some and they bring the dogs out or whatever. If you're at the airport or you're coming into one state, country or to another, or you're visiting somebody at jail or whatever, or you get stopped by the police or something, and they say, well, we're going to bring this dog by you, this sniffing dog by you, and whatever, and we got a judge to sign for this or whatever, or you're under our law or our jurisdiction because you're on our property or you're trying to come into the state or whatever. They say, hold on, Diesel. They say, we're gonna let this dog, and then the dog goes around you or something. And I'm thinking that the dog's gonna jump on me or pounce on me or something because I might have something on me, right? I'm not saying I do or did or whatever. Like I said, when I was young, things happen, right? So, and like I said, I told you guys, and I said it really quick, but if you didn't hear me, I'll say it again. I did. So this dog just went around me, and then the dog just sat down. And I'm thinking to myself, ooh, this dog didn't smell nothing. And they just look at me and they say, okay, right? But that's what the dog's supposed to do. The dog is not supposed to say, oh, I smell something on you. Let me pounce on you. When the dog get a hit, the dog just sit or lay down right next to you. So it does not, the person that's doing what they're doing, which is illegal, don't think, they think like what I think. Oh, wow. Okay, everything's good. Now, once you pass that threshold, they say, come with us. You be like, what the heck's going on? The dog didn't hit nothing. Why are you, what's going on? What's going on? Because you're thinking, ooh, I passed a bullet, right? No, baby girl. No, you did not pass the bullet. Now, you be like, unhand me. They be like, oh, strip, search. And now you in a big world of trouble, right? So you either got to be faster or know these things. At the time of those things, when you're young, you really do not know those things, but you will soon find out what I just said is true. Anyway, let's get into this. Finishing this up, Jake and the boy's mother, Rebecca, appeared in court on Tuesday for less than 5 minutes with a $1 million bail was set for both of them. So if you did not understand that, I'll put it in layman's term. It's $1 million set for Rebecca, and there's $1 million set for Jake. And they only got to come up with 10%. So what's 10% of $1 million? Is $100,000. So Jake is hoping that they can raise. So they're trying to raise money for Rebecca to get out of jail. Okay. So the mother and the father of 7-month-old Emmanuel who is presumed deceased, have both been charged with Red Room. So Moses, a private investigator and retired LAPD detective, said without Emmanuel's body, prosecutors are facing a challenge. Okay? Exactly, soldier girl. $100,000. Okay? $100,000 is not hard to come up with. But so that's why they're still also making sure people know that, hey, she's in jail. Okay, what would be the reason to get her out of jail? She has neither one of her kids. They knew they was going to send her to jail way before because they already took the child out the house, right? One of the charges I hope they consider adding is child abuse, causing death, he said. The reason it is so important to have that charge is that without a body, you are not going to get a true cause of death or manner of death. Well, okay, duh. You're right. We know that, but it is not hard to trial a a murder conviction or a result in California. We just seen it happen with the California City Boys. They charged Jacqueline and Trezell with murder. And we don't know when they murdered them, two boys. We don't know where the body is at. We don't even know who did what. And they are took that blueprint and said, we got a conviction over there. We can charge them the same way. And we will get it because the first thing we got to do is let the community know that we are telling them everything and they are playing games with us. And somebody, one of them took it out because it really does not make sense. It really does not make sense for them to say, okay, listen to this, you guys. I know that this bothers you because it bothered me a little bit. So I want to share my thoughts with you. So they have charged Rebecca and Jake with murder. Now, is it possible that both of them did this? No, the actual physical part. Is it possible? It's a possibility, but do you believe that happened? Like they both took turns and beat this child? No, you do not believe that. So how are you charging both of them with murder? Mike says, here's the thing. Rebecca filed the report. Okay, but you also charge both of them with filing a false police report, right? You guys, if I'm right, put a 1 in the box. You gotta give your girl thinking time because I do think about this. But Jake did not make the report. Jake did not make the report. Rebecca made the report, right? And I know you guys had to think about this. I know you guys said, how are you charging Jake with a false police report when Jake was at the football game? And Mike said right there on national TV, we're filing them both murder and filing a police report because they're both is engaged in this bald-faced lie. That's why. They both have to come to an agreement together and share this lie with the community, whether this person said it first or last or did not say it. Rebecca knows for a fact nobody didn't hit her in the head and she got 2 black eyes. That didn't happen. And she was supposed to be the last person that seen Emmanuel because she said that she took him to. So that would take Jake off the spectrum of being anywhere around this kid. And how are we going to convict her? And here's this man done beat a whole child into disability that was 10 weeks old. And let's look. I told you guys, let's look at the history. Let's look at the history. You guys say, SP, I told you. This is how this world works. If you want to borrow money, they're going to look at your history. How many people have you paid back? Did you pay back the car loan? Did you pay back the house loan? Are you paying your bills on time? Okay, you haven't? We can't let you borrow money. This is how this world thinks. Okay, let's look at Jake's history. Okay, you done had a child over there that's been beaten. You actually had 4 years. You got community service, and we were begging the judge, and you got off scot-free because he said that you deserve. Okay, that's a history. History repeats itself when you do not make a change. So now all of a sudden this baby is missing. This person came on national the news and everything and said, hey, you guys are doing this Perkins operation and you got a officer in the jail that Jake done talked to. And they was like, we have not. And so I was wondering why when they came on national TV with a press conference, knowing they even gave everybody time in the community to show up and ask questions. And then to throw people that's online in the community, in the people that's out there searching. And every time when someone that had a channel or searching for Emmanuel said something or asked a question, it was a smart remark back. But I'm going to tell you guys something, and they should not do that because I'm going to be honest with you about something. Yeah, this online thing, there's you got to take the good with the bad. But let me tell you something. They wouldn't get all the tips that they have had it not be online, people digging, finding this person, finding that person, having that person talk, that person feels comfortable. And if you don't remember that Gabby girl, they wouldn't have never found her had it not be for somebody on TikTok. A lot of these cases, and I'm going to be honest with you, nowadays, these cases are made and broken behind electronics. You was on the computer looking up this. You was on the computer looking up that. You was on somebody was on the computer and that's smart enough that's in Timbuktu somewhere 29 states, below or whatever, then thought, oh, I'm kin to that person and I spoke to that person and that person told me this and let me call that or such and such. It works together. So you cannot say, oh, you guys can't do anything when you want the people to talk. Yeah, they do get in the way. Yeah, sometimes they mess up the case, but you guys mess up the case too. So when you're downing, that's just like, my hand can do so much, but my feet, they getting in the way. They can't pick up nothing. My feet can't pick up nothing, but my hands can. But guess what? Your hands can't go nowhere either. It got to work together. Whether you got a badge on or not. And this is the like I know they try. There's a better and easier way to tell people to kind of back off a little bit, instead of just you're doing a disservice. You guys are doing a disservice too when we find out that you're cheating on your wife and you got a whole family over there, and then your kids is out killing people. Tell them about all of that. That your kid is in jail right now for this and that and drugs that they done brought in here, and it did not make the country any better. Tell them all of that while you're telling this other stuff about, you're doing a disservice. I'm just saying. Because, see, we do know when their kids get in trouble, they cover it up. They be like, oh, that's the sheriff's son. Oh, let's keep this quiet. Let's go to the frequency, the second frequency, because we know people listen to this. And let's how much drugs was in the car? I'm just saying, you guys, and you guys know that this is true. That some people be like, oh, and I can ask them the question, and they lie. They lie to me. They be like, I know that you may feel like I'm going to do the right thing regardless. I am going to do the right thing. But if it was your child, would you do it? Oh, certainly. I would just tell on my son. I would just tell on my daughter. And you'd be like, you know what? Shut up. Just shut up. Okay? I'm not saying that you wouldn't, but there comes a time when things get serious. And to be honest with you, I tell people all the time, you know what? I love my kids. I don't care what my kids do. I'm going to love them. I do. I love them. I will support them and help them, especially help them get some help or something. But I'm not going to turn my back on my kids because they've done something wrong. I'm just not going to do that. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care. I'm not going to turn my back on my children, period. Now, if they done something wrong, hey, if they get caught and go to jail, they go to jail. But I am still going to love my kids. And, yeah, I am. Period. I'm serious. Nobody say that you can't love your kids even though they done something wrong. So, and I was just thinking about this. I was just thinking about this, and I was a little hard on Jarvis's sister because Jarvis's sister sat there in court, and Jarvis's sister said, "I love you" to her brother. And I was like, how dare you? But that's her brother. That's her brother. So why would you not tell him you love him? Yeah, he messed up. He effed up. But that's your brother. So I was a little hard. I was a little hard on her. I was. And I say a little. And I apologize if anybody see her or whatever. I apologize for that. Because it takes other things that I have to think about and say, you know what? If that was my kid and he messed up, golly, like I wouldn't have never thought he would do something of this nature or whatever. But okay, I don't know if you did or you didn't. It looks like you did. They say you did. You got convicted or whatever. You keep telling a lie or whatever or something. I love you, but dang, dude, get you some help. You should have asked for some help. You should have came and told somebody. And by the time that you or your family member figure out that it's highly possible that you did do what you did, it's late. You done already done it. So you know what I'm saying? So I can't be mad at the sister because you don't want to think your family member will do something of this nature. You think other people do stuff like this. Y'all was raised in the same house by the same mama or whatever. So why would he think any different? Like, you know better, dude. Right? I'm just saying, you guys. I'm just saying that's how I feel about stuff. And I haven't heard nothing on the Naziah Harris case coming up or anything. But I mean, Tina says, I don't give a wood nickel whose son it is or whose daughter it is. If they done wrong, they done wrong. I'm not saying that they didn't do wrong. I'm saying that if it was your child, you will still love them. Listen to what I'm saying. You may be in agreement with what I'm saying. And if not, I will speak directly to you and ask you this question. You can answer it. Miss Tina Powers. Listen, I was saying you have a daughter. I know you have a daughter because you got grandkids. But you ain't got to have a daughter to have grandkids. You can have a son, but I do know that you have a daughter. I just know because you told me. Anyway, right? If your daughter messed up and we say mess up because we don't know their thinking. Was they on drugs? Was they having something with their mind? Or I don't know. Just say she was in an abusive relationship or something. Once you do something, you cannot take it back. Exactly. But okay, Tina, I'm talking to you. You got a daughter. And somehow she got on drugs or something. She's on drugs. She's on drugs really bad, whatever. And the child gets hurt. I don't know. Okay? Or she dates a guy and the guy hurts her kid. Whatever. We don't know the whole story. It does make sense or whatever. But okay, your daughter. Do you throw her away, never talk to her again? Okay, it's your grandchild that got hurt or not here because she made a mistake and married the wrong person. Or she got on drugs really bad and left the house and the house burnt up or whatever. Or the person that she dated touched your grandchild or whatever. You know? Like you gotta understand. Some people be like, I got this girlfriend at work. She says I'm the best nurse ever. But it is because, she said, I don't judge. I really don't. She says her mother is a Christian. And if somebody killed her mother will easily be able, if they ask for forgiveness, she will forgive them. She said, can you believe my mother said that? Tina says, I'm listening, ma'am. I was talking about the police officer. And yes, I do have a daughter. The question was, your daughter made a bad decision. She got with the wrong person. The person got her on drugs or whatever. She didn't know that this or that or whatever was happening or whatever. Do you fault the daughter? Do you say, hey, I don't know. It seems like we as humans, when we make bad decisions, we don't know when to stop. Like we allow drugs and bad decisions to change our life and continue. Like we have to stick and stay in there, like we addicted to the abuse, or we're addicted to the drug, or we are addicted to making money, or we addicted to the ding dong, or we just cannot stop. We got to have that person in our life. We got to have that drug in our life, or we got to have this, or we got to have that. No, the only thing you got to do is stay the color you are and die. That's the only thing you got to do in this life. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. We would say in our terms, you don't even have to pay taxes. You will go to jail. You don't have to pay. They may want you to pay. You may go to jail, but you don't have to. The only two things you have to do, and Michael Jackson was like, I don't have to stay being black. Okay. But you still are. It don't matter what color, like you becoming, or you say that you got this disease or whatever. All these people that was dark skinned, it's now light skinned. Like you got to look at Janet Jackson. You got to look at Jennifer Hudson. You got to look at Whitney Houston. All these people were dark. But they still black. She said, I don't throw my daughter away. No. And yes, I do have a daughter. Yes, I know. You will not. Connie turned in her son. He was young and she wanted to teach him a lesson. He never got in trouble again. Yeah. I'm going to tell you guys something. I turned in my son. But the reason why I turned my son in is because I love him. It's not because I have this syndrome of being a slave owner, such. I know for a fact, if I want my son to realize what he done did and not to run, because the situation was going to get worse. The situation would get worse really quick. You know what I'm saying? And I had to tell my son, I said, whether you did it or not, go turn yourself in. I'll come with you. But boy, don't run. Do not run. Why? Because that's what they want you to do. And if you didn't do it, or if you did do it and it just came out that way, or you made a mistake or whatever, don't run. Because they will shoot you in the back. They want you to run. And I told him, I said, it's not that serious. We will pay the money and get you help, get you out, or you will know you will never want to do it again. But don't run, baby. Please don't run. You're not a bad person. Don't make them think that you're a bad person. You made a bad decision. That's all it is. But tell me the truth. Don't have me up there sitting there talking about my son didn't do this and my son didn't do that. And you know you did. Because you can always go to the judge and throw yourself great and have mercy on you. And I didn't tell you guys that every United States citizen gets a free one get out of jail free. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? That's in the law. It doesn't say it like that. They don't say you get a get out of jail free. But do you not know that you can go to the judge or whatever? It can be a ticket. It can be you stole something. It can be you had a gun. It can be something really, really serious like death. But you can go to the judge and ask him, this is your first time ever getting in trouble. You robbed I don't know, a bricks truck or something. And in your attorney, you say, this is their first time getting in trouble. They've never done anything. They did this, they did that, or whatever. It's called a diversion. It's called a diversion. You ask the judge, can I use my diversion, my get out of trouble card? You will get lesser time and whatever he was going to give you. If it's serious and he knows, you know what I'm saying? Like, like what Jake did. I don't know how in the world that judge let Jake go. I couldn't tell you guys. I'm just being honest. Because he was supposed to do some time. He really was. And Mike did say one thing that was right. He was supposed to do some time. That baby ended up like, but it had to be some information that probably the judge was like, it really don't make sense. And okay. So, AKA Nancy, we are Cody's voice. She says, oh, okay, yeah, I've had a free ticket. Okay, see what I'm saying? I had one too. I'm just telling you guys the truth. That's how I can tell you this stuff. And I tell my kids the same thing. Use your free get out of jail. It's called a diversion. If you see, these are not really like, that's why they call me SP News Nuggets, because all these little nuggets that you need to know, they work in an all-day real life. People be like, oh, we just want to know about Naziah. Oh, we want to know about Cody. Oh, we want to know about Emmanuel. Well, I'm going to tell you guys something. If my mother will tell you this, just check all of the situations that's going on in this world. You need to know about these situations and all the surrounding information possible, because you're probably going to have to deal with something of this nature in your life, whether it's your kids, your husband, your brother, your son, your sister, your nephew, or whatever. And if you don't listen to all the information of how to get out of jail, what all happens, how the law works, how these other situations turn out, you will not know how to deal with these situations when they come on your doorstep. And then you can even also know how people think the way they think. But my mom would say, just live a little longer. You're going to have to know this information. You may not thank me now, but down inside, and I think, and I really do. And I say, Lord, when you come, I know you're going to judge us and all the things. It's going to be like a recording of everything we did, good, bad, and everything. I know this. But, there was this guy that, it's in the Bible. he was a good person, and he said he did this right, that right, this right, this right. But he had all this money, and the Lord says, and he was, the Lord says, well, get rid of all your stuff. He didn't tell him he couldn't sell it. He just told him to get rid of it. The man was like, oh no, not my houses and my sheep and my goats and all this other stuff. He just walked away and was like, I'm keeping all this. I like this. So, the Lord says you cannot serve two masters, right? And you can't. But the thing about it is when he comes, that's why only the Lord can judge us, because when we do these things, and you have to realize something, you guys, they can be horrendous. They can be awful. You will never tell someone the worst thing. Okay, I need everybody in the building that has done something so bad you have not let nobody know. Put a 3 in the chat. Put a 3 in the chat. I've done something. I'm going to tell you right now. I've done something I will never tell nobody. I won't even tell my husband. Only me and God knows. Only me and him knows. Right? But, and I mean, here's the thing. God knows. Right? And at the end of the day, you don't tell your best friend, I did this, I did that. You don't tell your wife or your husband, I did this, I did that. You just live in guilt, shame, but God knows. God knows. But then you think about it. You go, would I go to hell because of what I did? And then you think and you say, but you know what? God is so good and merciful. And he's a forgiving God. And even though I've done something so horrible and terrible, he still sent his son to die on the cross, knowing he said it was the only way that we could be forgiven for not one, not two, but even that thing you cannot really let go what you did, right? That you would not tell nobody. You just ain't gonna tell nobody. You just like, girl. Even when you think about it, you just get quiet and you be like, oh God, I don't even know how I thought that. But we do. We all do. And if you didn't put a 3 in the chat, you lying to yourself. You lying. And I know you're lying. See, there you go. I'm just saying. But the ones that actually put a 3 in the chat, you have asked God to forgive you. Even if you didn't even say it or mumble the words. You thought it. You thought it. You know what I'm saying? And he has already taken care of that. Okay? He already took care of it. You don't stand in line and go pay for somebody's groceries that's ahead of you. But Jesus did. He got right up there and he died on that cross. So you can let it go. You can let it go. And you can say, in God good all the time. That's what that means, you guys. If you didn't know, I'm telling you. I'm just letting you guys know. You can let it go. You know that song, let it go, let it go, let it go. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Because Jesus paid for all of that. So now he doesn't see you. He don't see you. Because the son is up there without a blemish, without no sin, and said, for everything that you did and you, that you so embarrassed that you put your head down. You don't even tell your kids, your husband, your best friend. It's all taken care of. So that's how we care sometimes about people in our lives. Regardless, when they do something wrong, you know, we still love them. And that's what you see between Jake and Rebecca. Rebecca being an older woman, she's standing beside her man. I believe that Rebecca is trying to take the hit because Jake is already a felon, you know? And if she, and they thought that this was a good idea to say, hey, somebody hit me because Rebecca is a woman and Jake is hiding behind this woman. Jake has said that he is cooperating. He's out there in the field, so he definitely cooperating because they can't just pull him out the jail. He has to agree to go. He has to. And then he's standing out there like he don't have a clue. And someone came to me and they said, could someone had told them where they dropped this baby off at? But he knows the vicinity. No. Yeah, that could be, that could happen. I can see that happening. But I don't give the benefit of doubt to suspects because I just don't. We're dealing when they say this. Now listen, family. I want everybody in the chat. Now think about this. Remember, especially Tina, Lisa Taylor, We Are Cody's Voice, Lisa Calhoun, Monique Hall, Soldier Girl, Zena Turbert, Tina Powers. I want you guys to hear something. Did we not hear from a police officer in the Cody Bixby case? And when they knew Corey Bixby had something to do with the child's death, they came on national TV and they said, he's smart, he's meticulous, he knows exactly what he's talking. They just said this about Jake. They said, Jake, he's an expert, professional. That's what they said. They said this about Jake. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's a professional. He's a professional liar. They know for a fact he did it. So even though that Jake did not make a report, they say, oh, but you're charging both of them with false report. Jake didn't make a report. They were like, they both is involved because they both is in agreement. Okay, I'm going to share something with you guys and then we're going to get off of here because for you guys, especially we got Phyllis in the building. I seen you come in, sister, and it's always nice having you here. You guys, and I don't remember the story fully. Matter of fact, I can't even remember the names of the characters, but in the Bible, there's a marriage couple. And I can't remember. I did remember it was on the top of my brain and then it went away. But there's this marriage couple and they were living at a time where everybody supposed to bring their goods into the church and then the church supposed to divide it amongst everybody or whatever. And so stop, Diesel. And anyway, I forgot the story that quick. It was just on my mind. Lord, please help me. I know you're hurting still, baby. But you look a little bit better. Need me clean your ear again? You look a lot better than you was. Let me see. Did mama see? Let me see. We'll get out of here then. You ain't gonna let me see. Get out. He's mad. Anyway, uh, there's this story in the Bible where Nancy said, yes, we absolutely did hear that within 2 days. Bam. Yes. See you guys. Okay. So there's a story in the Bible. I don't know why I want to say Fidel, and I know the word is not Fidel, but anyway, where these two, it was a husband and a wife. The husband was in front of the church or God or whatever. And everybody was supposed to bring their goods to the church. And everybody was in agreement. But this couple didn't do it. And so the man came in front of the church. It was the church. The man came in front of the church. And then they asked him the question. And then they asked him, did you bring all your goods? Did you sell everything and put it into the church little, giving basket that we can all distribute it even and nobody's going to be broke or hungry or whatever. And he said, I sure did. And they gave him a chance. And they was like, are you positive? Are you sure that you did this? Knowing that the man was lying or whatever. I'm just telling you guys this story. This story time. And so the guy said, I did. And guess what? He died right there. Boom. He just fell dead. Okay. So this story is in the Bible. I can't remember. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, go ahead and put it in the chat. But anyway, so they went and got the wife. And they told the wife what happened to her husband. They said he was in the church. They asked him the question, did y'all sell your property, sell your goods, and all this other stuff? Put it all in the church like you were supposed to do. Because here's the thing. You didn't have to do this, but you lied and said you did. But you didn't have to. And they told the wife of that man that died, just fell and died. They told her that when your husband was asked this same question, he said yes. He sold his land and sold all his goods and gave 100% to the church. And the minute he said it, he fell dead. They told the wife this. You know what the wife said, you guys? Look at Rebecca. Rebecca said, I will never give up. History repeats itself. So Rebecca is going down in flames. What I'm trying to say to you guys is Rebecca sent a message that she's never going to give up. Ananias in Safari. Yes, Lisa. Ananias and Safari. Yes, that's the story. It's true. Look it up. And I tell you guys these stories and I give you confirmation that these things are not new because they're not new. They're history. And if you look at history, you can actually tell how it's going to end. So yeah, Ananias is the guy and Sapharia is the female. Well, Sapharia, she said in the church courts or whatever, even though as they were dragging her husband out, because I think she even seen her husband getting dragged out of the church or court or whatever, because I think it even says something like as it was happening, they asked her, now did you guys sell all your property and your goods and stuff and give it all to the church? Lisa Taylor says Acts 5:1-11. Thank you, Lisa Taylor. Thanks, Lisa Calhoun. I see you both is in there doing your work. See, I need to get back in the book like I need to because God is so good. But this is why we have a book. And Phyllis says, yes, God is faithful, loving to us. He forgives, and we must learn to forgive ourselves. We must also forgive others and give others grace. That doesn't mean there's no cost. That's exactly right. Anyway, back in the day, Safari answers the question, and she agreed with what her husband said. I'm basically ditto. She quote the same. Yes, we did that. We sold all our stuff and we gave everything 100% to the church or whatever. We did that. And then guess what happened to her? See, she fell dead right there too. She sure did. The moral to the story is sometimes you will have couples, especially married, that will one saying that they are cooperating, which is Jake, and one is saying she's standing 10 toes down that she was kidnapped. He's a good father. He's a good father. She's a natural nature female that has been abused. She loves him to the end of time. She loves that man more than she loves her child. You know, I take the medicine and I fall asleep. I take this medicine and I have to call my doctor because this medicine makes me sleep all day. Friday was a really rough day for me. I feel so bad. I didn't pick Pooh Bear up at school. The worst day ever. I had to, and I'm just mad at myself. But nevertheless, I've been telling my kids I'm on this medication and I can't even chop it up in half, but it knocks me out. I tell you, I've never really take medicine in my life. I just don't like pills and I just don't like drugs. But anyway, nevertheless, I mean, it's only about 25 milligrams, but it is a punch. And I don't hear the phone. You can't wake me up. It's like, it's supposed to be an anxiety medication, but it's actually for my headaches. It is called amitriptyline. Amitriptyline. And I looked it up, and I think it's for like depression. It's for, I don't know. It's a citric medication, but it's supposed to be, it helps with headaches. Well, of course you don't have a headache. You don't went to sleep. I wake up, I be like, but did you have a headache when you wake up? No, I didn't. I didn't wake up at all. And so my son had to jump off of work and go pick up his son. And I feel like crap. But anyway, this medication has kicked my butt. But of course, I don't have the headaches. And I said to myself, my son didn't call me at the time all this was happening or whatever. He was worried about me. He was worried. But of course, he picked, he was running to pick his son up before seeing about me. But he was on his way to come and see about me. And that told me something. And I got to thinking, I was like, my son was worried. Something's wrong with mama, but I got to go get my son. And I thought to myself, okay, can I say, do I love my kids more than I love my mother? I honestly thought about that for a long time. I'm thinking I love them both. And I do love them both. I love my mom and I love my kids. But I had to realize I do love my kids more than I love my mother. You guys understand? Because that's my mom and she gave me life, but I gave my kids life. So I was thinking about that. I love my kids more than I love my mother. I love my kids more than I love my husband. I love my kids more than I love myself. Even though that they're grown. But I don't love my kids more than I love God. I do not do that. I can honestly say that. I mean, it's, hey, you will be tested. I know there's a difference in that love. I know, but if you really, I want you guys to really, 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 really deep down, really, really, I'm just telling you, there is an order. And it's easy to say, I love God more than anybody. Yeah. But when it comes down to your kids, I'm telling you something. You be like, shh, the Lord told me to don't go home. And I'm like, but my kids are there. I don't know who you are right now talking to me. But you have to be God, because that's the only place I want to be right now. Because I'm finna send somebody to meet you today. They fooling around messing with my kids. The Lord had to tell me to back off. And I said, it has to be God. I know it has to be God. I'm hearing things, but it has to be him. Because Satan would have told me to hurry up and get there. I'm telling you guys, you read your Bible and you will make the right decisions. They tell you stuff for a reason. And when God, he will try you. And you will know when it's him. You will know. And you will know if you love your kids more than you love God. I know it's easy to say it. People say it all the time, but they ain't never been tested. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you for a reason. You will be tested. If you've been tested before, you can put a 1 in the chat. I've been tested. And I passed the test. I didn't know it was a test at the time. I'm telling you. I didn't want to listen to what God had to say. I didn't. I was in protective mode of my kids, but the Lord say you cannot love two masters. You just can't. You can't. You'll love one, and no, you will spite the other one. But yeah, we do mess up. We fail. I didn't fail that one, but I'm pretty sure I done failed some of them that I didn't recognize. Yeah, that's what it is, Zena. That is, let me look. You got the spelling right. I think AMITRIPTYLINE. Yep. Yeah. Emma triple line. I don't know. I have to say it like Emma triple line. Emma triple zine. Emma triple line. Anyway, Soldier Girl says I'm still listening. But anyway, you guys, yeah, I've been tested on that before, and I passed. But I may not have passed all of them, but I know that one I did pass. I was like, thank God. I didn't want I didn't want to. I didn't think I could have passed, to be honest with you. Before I didn't pass. Sometimes, like I've been tested before. I've been tested before when my baby brother passed. I was done. And you know how sometimes people say, oh, if you ever got mad at God before, that probably was a test. That was a test. And I've been mad at him before. That's why I can tell you, I didn't pass before. I know that. That was a test I didn't pass. But now, you get older, you start learning and understanding. Understanding, God gives you understanding of the word and what it means. Whether you have church or don't go to church, or you read the word or whatever, God's going to give you understanding. Okay. He's going to give you understanding. And once you get understanding, because you cannot be judged when you don't know, you just can't. That would be just, that would not be a good God. That would be, that's just like if you go to a country and you like peanuts. So you get on the plane and you go into a country that has forbidden peanuts, but you didn't know, and you get on this plane and you're taking peanuts to your friend because they told you they've never tasted peanuts before, so you're gonna bring them some peanuts, and then you get on the plane and they say, hey, we need to check your luggage, and you got these peanuts all in your luggage, and then they say, you come with us, we're gonna lock you up in jail, and you be like, hey, I didn't know that this was wrong. I didn't know. They can't get you for that if you didn't know. I mean, that would not be just. You didn't know that, you know, 90% of the country has a allergic reaction to peanuts, so you shouldn't even be bringing them or anything. You didn't know. You can't be judged. So when people say, but what about the people that didn't know? Well, the Lord says that we all will know. He says we will all know and confess. We will get on our knees. Every knee will bow. Every tongue will confess that he is God. Okay. So, however he do it, you may not understand it because you're looking in the physical, but he's a spiritual God. So spirit knows spirit. So there is a way. Okay. So anyway, you guys, some of those questions that you guys don't understand about God, it's not for you to understand because you're trying to make logic into it. In time, or when you finally get to meet the maker, you can ask him yourself, because all information is not good. Sometimes when you know something and then you try to make a decision of something that you be like, I mean, it's good to get as much information as possible, but I'm saying, like, you say to yourself, well, if I knew that there was a car accident up the street, I'm not going that direction. I'm going to go this direction, and you go the other direction, and then next thing you know, oh, there's Naziah walking down the street or something. Let me pick her up. And then the next thing you know, you be like, oh, she's having my baby, so let me give her some antifreeze. And then now nobody's going to know that I took her out because, she was on the school bus. Or we was on our way to AutoZones and we just so happenly show up, we picked her up. Come on. It is what it is. There is no accidents. Everything happens for a reason. Whether you see it as good or bad or indifferent, there's a reason for it. And the sad thing about it is you don't know the reason why that little baby girl named Naziah had to go through what she had to go through. But trust me, the God that we serve gonna take care of it. You guys do understand that. You guys believe that, right? He's gonna take care of it, whether you see it or not. Justice will be served, whether it's in court or not in court. He will get what's coming to him. The Lord also tells us, let me be your vengeance. So, I don't have to do anything else but be black and die. That's it. I have a choice to believe in God. I have a choice to not. I choose to, and I choose to believe in the Son. And I choose to believe, even though I do know that man in this world tampers with stuff, and it could be a high possibility they have tampered with the Bible. I don't worry about that because if God did not want it in there, it would not be in there. Trust and believe it would not be in there. And he's going to direct my path. So anything that I get wrong or my misunderstanding or whatever, I would have to say, Lord, give me the understanding. And if he does not, then I don't have to worry about it. Right. Because that's a good God. That's the kind of God I serve. And I know that to be true. See, if you've never met him before, that's why you sit back and you have all these questions. Or you say you met him, or you know. But I'm going to tell you guys something, and then we're going to get off of here. I'm going to say this because it is true. It is true. Once God has made his presence to you known, some of you guys in here know what it is. It's all going to be different. It's never going to be the same. You know, whether he came from a cloud where you seen him in a dream, or whether he spoke to you and you heard his voice, or you did not hear his voice. Maybe, I don't know, you prayed for something and there's no other way it could have happened, but it happened the way God told you it was going to happen. Or he gave you the Powerball numbers, which I hope he gives me, but nevertheless, when he has shown you who he was, and you know whether he brought somebody back to life or brought him in your life or whatever it was that you prayed for, and he showed you. Because you do know sometimes you can ask him to show you if it is him, and he will. But sometimes he won't, because guess what? You need proof. He is the proof. You know what I'm saying? He's the life. He's love. He's all of that. He's good. So, just like some things don't need to be explained. You know what I'm saying? Because to explain it, you still ain't gonna understand it. No way. That's just like wasting my breath or time or whatever. But nevertheless, he already knows. So you cannot trick him into anything or anything of that nature. But let me tell you guys this. If he has made his presence known to you, and you know this for sure, you do not have a doubt in your mind. And that's just it. Anything else happens in this world or life, you just be like, well, okay. You know what I'm saying? The ones in the back. You guys understand what I'm saying? And I don't care who comes up to you and tell you anything else. You know when you have had God in your presence. Okay? He says, every person will know. Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. So, I don't have to explain it or prove it to you or anything. You absolutely will know. And for me, I don't have to wait to the end of time. I know. So, you can put me in a crazy room if you want to. But I be like those 3 Hebrew boys. We'll just be visiting the Lord earlier than what we thought. Because it don't change anything. It is what it is. And this is what he says to all the Pharisees. They say, who are you? And he says, I am that I am. Who do people say I am? Now, to those of you that know me, who do you say? And then one person said, you are the Son of the living God. And you know what he says? He says, only way you can know that is my Father told you. There's no way you could have known that. So like I said, some of us, he let his presence be known. And those are the ones that will teach and continue sharing the word. However, they share it. Guess what? Some get it at church, some get it in the street, and some people get it on the YouTube. You guys, I'm finna get off of here. We've been on here for 2 hours. I was just giving you some enlightenment on some of the things that Jake was talking, and I'll let you guys know. Oh, I was going to share this with you guys before I got off of here, though, because if you did not know, you can look it up yourself. I did look it up, and I wanted to share this with you. Where it is. Okay. In Isaiah, the name Emmanuel and its surrounding context speaks of the dawn of the promised golden age, with the judgment of the wicked and the blessing of the righteous. This was the ultimate sense in which God's presence was to be manifest in Israel. In Matthew, then the name is applied to Jesus, which means that this promised blessing of God being with his people spreads to all who will believe in him in the entire world. Jesus fulfills the prophecy because he will save his people from their sins. The theme of God with us continues through Matthew until the very end, where it culminates in the Great Commission and the last verse of the book. And behold, I am with you always to the end of the age. Why is the name Emmanuel important? The name Emmanuel points to the prevalent biblical theme of God's presence with his people, the ideal of God with us. I told you guys to remember that is what Jake is saying in his message. God be with us. That is Emmanuel's name. The ideal of God with us is the embellishment of all of God's promises to Israel and to all who will trust in him. Through sacrifice and mercy, God makes a way to be with his people, whether Israel in the Old Testament or the church in the New Testament, all leading up to God's final act in Revelations 21:3. And I heard from a loud voice from the throne saying, behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. If you want to understand what Jake is saying, remember his child's name is Emmanuel, and Emmanuel means God is with us. So when Jake is making sure that when his attorney told him to don't do no press conference, Jake says, but I continue to say, God is with us. God is with us. God is with us. He is saying, Emmanuel, Emmanuel. And remember God's promise. And then Rebecca says, when you know her attorney told her not to speak either, she says, I'm never going to give up. I'm never going to give up. So with that being said, you guys, just remember, we're coming to the end of time. I hope this was not a sacrifice. You guys understand what I'm saying? Anyway, we do know Rebecca do have 2 black eyes. So there's got to be some pressure there. She's not. If Rebecca, well, Jake being the more masculine one and the man, and Rebecca having 2 black eyes, that means she is the weaker one. But right now, she has nothing else to lose. She's in jail. One child is with family member. The other child, God knows where he's at. And she's 41 with a younger man. She can break, though. She can break. Anyway, I think that's the reason why they were showing Jake at those places. I could be wrong, but I don't believe they're going to give where they put that baby. I could be wrong. I don't know, you guys. I told my doc, okay, works better for my anxiety and depression. Oh, yeah. The name signifies that God will dwell among his people, a promise fulfilled through the birth of Jesus. Exactly, Zena. You got it, sister. All right. Tina says, I thought about that as P if the baby was a sacrifice. Yes. Soldier Girl says, but he didn't change my meds, but he needs to. PTSD have me in fight or flight. I'm telling you that medication will knock your butt out. Connie says the new attorney for Rebecca is Jeff G. Moore. Okay. I don't know nothing about Jeff G. Moore. Stop it, Diesel. Do you want to go outside? Hold on, you guys. You want to go outside? You still... He just acting like he finna tear up the place. He like, don't even come near. Don't even come near. What is but he didn't change my meds, but he needs to. Yes. Connie says, Connie Karen. Connie AK Karen. The new attorney for Rebecca is Jeff G. Moore. Tina says, I thought about that SP. That baby was a sacrifice. I want to put it out of my head, but it's still a thought. Phyllis says, safe from Jake. Exactly. That's right. I'm just telling you, that's the medication that, like, it's supposed to be for headaches, because I have really bad headaches, like go to hospital headaches. The headaches feel like I was going to have another aneurysm. So I told my doctor, I said, if it's not my blood pressure, what is it? Because I was still having, but if I take the medication, which I need to take my medication right now because you guys are, talking to me and whatever and everything I need. And I ain't got no soda. I got no soda. If you need some medication that'll knock you out, that they won't give you no narcotics, which, you probably don't need to take narcotics anyway. You don't want to get, all addicted to that stuff. Which, they be like, I don't want to give it to you. Well, then don't. Tell them to give you that. That will, it ain't one of those things like you driving down the street and then, yeah, I think the dosage, you're right. My daughter told me to tell them, like, I can't even chop it in half because the pill is so small. But the dosage is so. Okay, hold on. I knew Tina, my girl, was gonna call. Hold on, you guys. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Jeff Moore. Jeff Moore.
Uh-huh.
He was the one that did the Turpin family.
Oh, the Turpin family that was in Virginia?
No, it was in California.
Turpin. Okay, that's okay. I can't remember that. I thought, wasn't that little baby in Virginia? What was that baby's name? Not
Not Cody, but oh Lord, I had his.
I thought his name was Turpin.
No, his name was oh dang nabbit. When they found his body in the landfill.
Yeah.
Tomlin. Noah Tomlin.
Noah Tomlin?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Turpin one
is from California. They had 11 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same lawyer that's going to represent Rebecca now.
Oh, that's representing Rebecca?
Yes.
Okay, so what was the ending results on that case?
Okay. Julia Tomlin.
No, not that one. On the one that's in California with the kids.
The Turpin. Okay. So they got life in prison.
Oh, they did? Good.
Yes, they got life in prison.
Okay.
Yes.
They got life in prison. But you know what? They know that Rebecca didn't harm this baby.
I believe Jake was the mastermind.
Yep, they know it. I mean, he's the common denominator. She's not the common denominator. I mean, I hate to say this because it is actually just like we don't like to be, driving in a car, and because we're black or we got a nice car, we do not like for people to stop us and say, hey, well, why are you stopping? Because you see me in a nice car and I'm black and da-da-da-da-da. I don't want to sound like that. But Jake, I mean, Rebecca's a woman and she's very, like could she had an episode or something, and that's why Jake beat her butt, is because she was doing something to the child, and maybe she's cuckoo.
I don't know.
I can't see, but they did say that Jake made that phone call.
Yeah, Jake did make that phone call.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jake did make the phone call though.
And you got to think, she's got a young man, and She's trying to stay with what she said.
Yep.
And we do see, I mean, I don't want to be closed mind because he's a man. I don't want to be closed mind to that because there are women that will harm their kids.
Exactly.
You know, we don't want to believe that because a woman's natural state is to nurture the child. Nurture the child. Exactly. Thank you. Nurture the child. I mean, that's how we were made. That's why we have the feelings and the emotions and the chemicals that comes from our body and everything, and the men don't. They can't deal with that. I mean, it's our whole physical way we were built and stuff is so that we can have these feelings and emotions and stuff and stuff, and but when our chemicals in our body is not working like they supposed to, just it's almost like when a woman has a baby and then she gets angry postpartum or something.
Yep. Postpartum. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Could that, I mean, and she's just angry, like, you're leaving me, and you know what I'm saying? And now he's feeling some kind of guilty, and there was a struggle about the baby or something previously. I mean, did we really think about that, consider that? Or we just won't Jake down?
We want Jake down, and
See?
we want justice for that baby.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Oh, Lord.
I'm just saying. Jake is out there off of Highway 60.
I know. But SP, for real, her lawyer can do a mental breakdown.
Evaluation.
Mm-hmm. Like they did for Corey.
Oh, they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that because she.
And they got to get abuse counselors for her. She's got to have a whole nine.
Yeah. For the baby to be beaten like that, I just can't see a woman. Okay, because I'm looking at the history of Jake's the baby promised faith, Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for her to be beaten like that, I just can't see. I can't see a woman. Okay, he's always with women that's beating kids. No, but he is the common denominator.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says he just did not do that, and he's like, I did not do that. I took the deal. Magically, they made me take the deal because I did not have the money to go to trial. Yeah, you did. You don't need money to go to trial. You just say you didn't do it. But his attorney said, hey man, I can, if you go ahead and confess it, with her, y'all both confess. Well, one of them had to do it and the other one had to know that you did it. And we don't know what the story was that the mother said before. Vanessa,
Vanessa, right.
But tell me what you're thinking, Miss Tina.
Ooh, a lot of stuff I'm thinking. Could it be that Emmanuel got so upset? Well, when I say this, you know how babies cry. And Rebecca was trying to hush him up, feed him, make sure he was okay. And he just went plumb nuts. Jake, he just went plumb nuts.
Why would Jake go plumb nuts?
Because the baby wouldn't shut up. Something in that house, I believe, and I go back to this, something in that house triggered Jake off.
Well, remember in the history case with Vanessa, she said she took the baby to the hospital because the baby was not sucking.
Right.
She was breastfeeding the child. Right. And that's a connection in itself, too.
Right.
But the baby was not sucking anymore her milk or getting milk from her, and she didn't understand why the baby was not drinking the breastfeed milk. And so she took the baby to the hospital. So that made me think, okay, this woman couldn't have beat this baby and then act like she didn't understand why the baby was not eating. So she takes the baby to the hospital, and then they say, hey, we're gonna call CPS. Matter of fact, we're gonna call the police, and we're taking the baby from y'all. Y'all gonna have to go to court. And then the doctor says the baby has bleeding from the head, healing broken ribs, a broken rib, fourth and fifth and sixth, or such and such. And now she can't see. She's blind. She's really, literally almost killed this child. And then we charging both of y'all. And I'm thinking, well, they charge the mama and they charge Jake. Now, we only know what happened to Jake, but what happened to the mother on this? What did she get? And did she plead guilty too?
I think she did.
What was? I wonder what was her sentence. I mean, because the way that they filed in this case, do you think Rebecca watched him beat this baby?
That did come in my mind too.
Because she got a black eye, and she probably said something to him, and he beat her.
Yep. She got two siders.
Well, yeah.
Each side.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I told you guys, I see two. I don't see one. One may be a little bit where it's healed more, but I see two. I see two black eyes. That's what I see.
I see two black eyes too.
Well, everybody was focused on the one, but you can't. You got to focus on what you see. I guarantee you, if they took off her clothes, she got bruises all up and down her body. I guarantee it.
I guarantee it. And I bet you any amount of money when you get photoed, when you go down there to, almost say Hampton, when you go down there to any police station, you have to strip. They see the bruises, the tattoos, and all this. And then you get to wear an orange jumpsuit or whatever color they put you in. And then you get that mug shot.
Right.
Then you go down to this little hallway. Then you get fingerprinted.
Right.
Now ask me how I know all that. I've been to jail before. But that's another story and another topic. But yeah, I've been there, done that. They shackled you.
You know what? I listen because I ain't never said I ain't been in trouble, but I ain't never, girl, I know how to talk my way out of going to jail. I ain't never been to jail before.
Well, this one I couldn't talk myself out of because I did it.
Shit, I didn't say I didn't.
Well,
I just said I got a good lawyer, girl.
When you admit to a magistrate that I did it, yeah, I admitted twice. So I did it.
Yeah. Well, I bet you won't do it no more.
Heck no. No, it wasn't worth it. It was not worth it.
Some people say, I'll do it again. Yeah. Well, you really just didn't learn then. Because I know good and well I ain't doing nothing no more.
No, that's okay. I'd rather walk away than go back down there, down to the courthouse. It's not worth it because then you'll be on probation. Then you got to take an anger management class. You got to pay for that anger management class. And then you get a little certificate saying that you completed the anger management class. And then you try to get it expunged, off of your record. And then you got to pay for court costs. See, that adds up.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
And it's not worth it. Y'all walk away.
Exactly.
Yep, walk away. But yep, that's who that new lawyer is that's representing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure he told Rebecca. Hey, thank you, Soldier Girl, for the super chat. I got you in there. Hold on, Tina Powers. Don't go nowhere. Hold on. Let me give her thanks. So we don't have batteries on the thing anymore. I've got to get some, but we can say thank you. Okay, thank you, Soldier Girl, for that super chat. We appreciate it, you guys. Tina, the more I think about this case, and I do think about it. I know people thinking, "Oh no, you don't know." I just been having sleeping issues, computer issues, dog issues, job issues, grandson issues, and I'm like, okay, but I'm glad we got on there today. This case is crazy. I mean, I still think about Naziah case, and
this case has got many twists and turns and upside downs. Just wait, buckle up, y'all, because it's gonna get bumpier as the time goes.
Do you think they're gonna? I don't think they're gonna find baby Emmanuel. That's just my perception.
I don't know. It's looking grim. I hate to say it like that.
Tina, you done been on these cases. We've been on these cases. We rocked for a long time now.
Long
time. Do you think, now people ask me, they say, hey, SP, do you think that Jake is giving them a goose hunt, goose chase or whatever? And I'll be like, no, the more money that they spend, the harder they gonna be going after him, But he does know if they find that body, that's it.
He's good as gone.
He knows that.
Yeah, he knows it. That's why he's on the wild goose. He's playing with them. He's playing. He knows exactly where that body is. But listen, Jake, if you know anywhere where that baby is, stop playing games and we want that baby. And I will say that for Cody, Corey, if y'all know where these babies are at, let the police know so that way these babies can get a proper resting spot.
I'm gonna tell you something, Tina. I see people doing that all the time. They be like, well, they be online and they be like, hey Jake, you need to tell us where you got the baby. Now, and I'm thinking, well, Jake is in jail. I truly don't believe he's on YouTube watching and listening or anything. I just don't. But
he's got sisters.
Yes.
Or he's got a sister.
Yeah.
Now why her shit is blocked? Why she take her stuff down? You want to sit up here and he won't do
okay. I feel you. Okay.
But then again, you want to sit up here and block your stuff. Why?
Well, because she loves her brother.
I get all that, but come on now. You're doing exactly the same thing that these police officers are doing. You're doing a disservice, ma'am.
Okay.
I ain't talking about you, SP. I'm talking about.
I know.
About the family.
Yes.
I'm talking about the family.
See, that's why I couldn't understand why when they did that press conference, they were so hard on the people. They were like, y'all keyboard warriors, y'all doing a disservice, that y'all got it wrong, da 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 da. You wasn't talking about the suspect that you got more harsh than you talking about the people that wants to help. That really didn't make sense to me. That was like they trying to make them believe that they're on their side.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you the same thing that I put in your chat tonight.
What's that?
Tell it, please. If you didn't want the people help, then come out with the press conference and don't give us a press release. Come out with the conference.
Right.
Like they should have done in the beginning.
Right. Well, I think, and that's one thing too, that the Mike said that the reason why we're giving y'all press conference because they came out first. Well, once they ring that bell, it's hard to come back and go like, that's why it's tugging at our hearts and we're looking at this because, they should have been, instead of standing out there talking to the news, they should have been at the police station, trying to either out there searching or trying to remember what happened, and they wasn't doing that.
Right. I tell you what, SB, I don't give Virginia no credit, and I don't give California no credit because now I ain't gonna say I'm not gonna say what I'm about to say, but we all have we have some cops out here that's great, and we have some tainty cops like in Tennessee and California and Virginia. We have it everywhere. We have tainted cops and judges. Because look, why would that tainted judge will let him go when he knew that he done something to this baby? Not this baby, but the other baby. We're tainted.
Well, they told you that he threw himself at the grace and mercy of the court, and he gave him a break.
This ain't no Kit Kat box.
Well,
this is a human life.
Well, might say that's the reason why Emmanuel's not here today.
Well, I take that. I take that.
See?
I take that.
But if you really think about it, Emmanuel wouldn't be here if he was in jail anyway.
Right.
But, I'm not saying like he's a good person. I'm just saying he will be in jail. Emmanuel wouldn't be here. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, like if I never met my daughter's dad, then I can't get mad and say, my daughter is, not a of her father because she has to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I can tell that it tugs at the community's heart when he said that. And when you don't think, it makes some sense. Emmanuel would be here if Jake was in jail. Yeah, but
somebody else's kid.
Yeah, it that's the part that he needed to explain, that Jake would be in prison, and when Jake got out, he would be just like Jarvis.
Yep.
Exactly. It wouldn't be Emmanuel, but it would have been another child. Mm-hmm. Whether it would have been his kids or somebody else's. For some reason, he may not like kids.
May not.
Or he feels jealous behind the child.
I thought about that too.
Could she fed I almost said Jarvis. Could she fed this baby food and then he was like, dang, where's my food? You love the baby more than you love me. And she's trying to make him believe that she loves him just as much as she loves the baby. or she spent money on the baby, and she always crying, talking about you never working and you don't buy the baby diapers, and he like F this baby and went off on the baby, or he was fighting her because of some infidelity, and she grabbed the baby, or she was holding the baby, and she thought maybe he'll quit hitting her or whatever. But he's got anger problems.
Yes, he does.
And you can kind of tell that, like he sits at home, play the Xbox. He don't have friends. No friends have came up and said anything.
No, he too busy about getting a workman's comp. I'm sorry. That was hey, I'm just throwing it out here.
Yeah.
Him and Rebecca.
Right.
Went to work, failed, and tried to get that workman's comp. That's how they worked.
Yeah, they got a big piece of land over there.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad. Mm-mm. Oh, well, we better get off of here, girl.
All right, girl.
All righty.
All right, everybody.
All right.
All right.
Thank you guys for showing up. I got to get off of here. I got some messages. I will see you guys. We might come on a little later or something to see what's going on. But let's get off of here for a minute. I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you guys learned something.